Hello and welcome back to Aubrey Books and Coffee. Please grab your favorite beverage of choice and join me. So, like all of you, super excited about the Goodreads Awards, and the nominees are out now. In fact, they dropped yesterday. So I am already a day behind on reading these books so that I can vote for them, but we have until the 24th. And then after that, they narrow it down to just the top in each of those categories. And then we get to go one more time in our voting. And then that's it. We get it. That is it. Those are the picks. So of course I want to be a part of it. I'm in BookTube. That's my bread and butter. I'm excited. And it also gives me an excuse to pick up some other books that maybe weren't even on my radar. So for this vlog, I am going to attempt to read as many as possible between the 12th, or technically the 13th, and the 24th, so that I can make an educated guess when I go in to vote. I'm not judging how anybody else votes, but for me personally, and Stevie apparently, you can hear in the background, I choose to only vote on books that I've actually read. And so I'm hoping this will give me some 5 stars in here, and I'm more confident in each category. So I created a spinner wheel, and I spun the spinner wheel for the first time, and I landed on Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I apologize. This author's amazing, and I'm still going to butcher the name. Farida Abaikliad. I apologize. Limikiad. I am the worst with names. I really, really am. It's not an excuse. I have tried everything you can think of, and I still don't pronounce them right. Even when I listen ahead of time, I still don't end up pronouncing them right. Linguistics are not my field for sure, but this author, in case that name does still sound familiar, regardless of how I butchered it, but you see it on the beautiful cover, is also the author of Ace of Spades. So very, very, very good author here. And so I'm super excited to start off this vlog with this particular one. This was in the category of YA fiction. And in that category, there were 2 books I had previously read and reviewed for you all. The first one was Death at Morning House. This one I gave a 2-star. I got an advanced copy through NetGalley on this one, if you remember. I was not impressed. I was actually kind of bored and very disappointed in it. So I really didn't want to vote for that one. And then the other one was Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. This one I gave a 3-star. This one was a Once Upon a Book Club book box pick. Again, for having all of those Arthur Round Table kind of, ideas behind it and pushings behind it, it just didn't deliver for me at all. So again, I didn't want to vote for that one either. So I have high expectations for this one. And maybe this will be the one that I vote for if this is the winner I am looking for. So I'm about an hour into Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and it's interesting. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. It's almost like a magic school, I guess, is where she's at now, and she's orphaned, and yeah, I don't know what I was thinking this was going to be about, but it's definitely not at all what I thought it was going to be about, so we'll see. So I'm about 25% into Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I don't know why I thought it was a magical school when I first started out. The only thing I can think of is she was talking about plants and how the plants can talk to you and stuff, and so I think I was taking her very literal, but it was not meant to be, because this is not a magic school. However, there is something weird going on. At 25%, our main character, who everybody keeps pronouncing her name wrong, so I'm not going to say it because I'll be one of those people. But basically, it feels very, there is some Harry Potter feels as far as how the school system's set up, having houses that you take a test and get sorted into. And then she's got a couple of friends and stuff. And then, of course, the people, the popular plastics, if you will, that hate her. And so it's got a lot of different genres thrown in there that are really intriguing. And now there's dark and sinister, and it doesn't spoil anything because it's actually on the synopsis of the book itself. But basically, the 2 friends that she's made, one of them is her roommate and suddenly goes missing. And so, like, the police are like, "Where were you?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh." And so then it seems like everybody else is kind of maybe sweeping it under the rug a little bit, or just assuming it was her because she's the new girl and the roommate. And so she and this other friend are basically trying to figure out what happened to their friend and what's going on. Meanwhile, we get sprinkled in a little bit of Morse code and a little bit of what sounds like a girl talking in the dark to herself. And so it's a little creepy, a little strange, a little bit of a mystery. It's got me intrigued, and I'm excited about this one. So I'm about 55% now into Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I'm bored. I didn't want to be, I really didn't, but I'm pretty bored, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Maybe it picks up after the halfway point, but I'm kind of surprised this is one of the Goodreads nominees. So anyway, we're still following Sade, I think is how you pronounce it, Sade. It's actually a point of contention that nobody can pronounce it right, so I feel bad that I'm probably butchering it too. But yeah, her roommate's missing, still looking for her with her other friend. The three most popular girls they call the Unholy Trinity, which is hilarious, but it feels very much like Mean Girls vibes, and it's like the Plastics. And so one of them's kind of befriended her, and yeah, it just definitely comes across very Mean Girl, if you've ever seen that. And yeah, I love academic setting, but the pacing is so slow right now. My last update was like early on in the book. Here we are at 55%, and not a lot's happened. Truly, not a lot has happened. Just very, very slow, very boring. The only thing that's new and kind of interesting, and I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, is sometimes people will come up to her now and be like, "You look so familiar." And she's like, "I promise you, I'm new here. Like, I have no idea who you are." And it's happened a couple times now. So I'm thinking that'll have something to play into it later. Yeah, I don't like it. Like, I am so bored. I'm going to give it a little bit more. I may end up DNFing it, so we'll see. Okay, given that I look the same as the last update, I think you know where I'm going to go with this. I'm at 65%, and I just can't, you guys. I am literally falling asleep as I'm reading this. I just can't. I'm sorry. I gave it 65%. Normally when I do vlogs, I want to try and finish the book come hell or high water, but I just can't. DNF, I'm sorry. Let's spin again. Oh, so our first spin didn't go so well. So let's hope the second spin goes a little better. Oh, okay. I'm on board with this. I like this. So for the second spin, we got The Teacher by Frida McFadden. This goes in the mystery and thriller category, which because we just got out of October's spooky month, I actually have read several in this category that are potential nominees. I have done Listen for the Lie, which I gave 3 stars, House of Glass I gave 3 stars, The Mystery Guest I gave 5 stars, and Middle of the Night I gave 3 stars. So I don't know. Will the teacher be able to throw out my love for Molly and the Maid series? We'll see. So I'm about 28% into The Teacher by Frida McFadden, and it really starts off with a bang. Like, literally the first line is someone is burying somebody in a grave. And then now at where I'm at, I have to say, I don't think any of these characters are redeemable. Like, I know human beings are flawed, but oh my gosh, we've got a married couple, Eve and her husband Nate, and they're both teachers at the high school. And we've got a student who's got a reputation for having had an affair with a teacher, and so the teacher was of course fired. And Addie is now being bullied by other kids in the school who really liked that teacher and think that he was framed for something that didn't happen, and are bullying Addie, and then other teachers who are just disgusted with her and the whole situation. So like Addie seems like she's having a rough time of it, and it seems like the wife is doing something she shouldn't be doing, the husband's doing something he shouldn't be doing, and yeah, it just feels like very, very flawed characters that I really don't like very much. Like we're not supposed to like them, I think, but the writing's really good. It's got me gripped, and I am invested. Oh my gosh, I'm at 36%, and something was just revealed, and it was said so offhand at the end of the chapter. So yeah, I don't think Addie's redeemable either. I feel like all of these characters have issues, but I am still definitely in it. I am now 59% into The Teacher, and it's unraveling fast. Like seriously, I don't like any of these characters. But again, it's the bad guys you love to hate, kind of don't like. Like I am in this story. I am completely pulled in. I feel like they're all terrible people. Like everybody in this story is a terrible person. But it's very well written, and I am intrigued, and I can't wait to see this train wreck play out. Okay, so I finished it, and I think I'm actually going to give this a 4 stars because, oh my gosh, it was good. It was good. I mean, it was horrible. And these people in this book are horrible. But no, it was very engaging, and it had me on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what was going to go down and exactly what was going to happen. And yeah, like the characters I didn't like I in the best way didn't like them. I know that sounds really weird, but you'll understand if you read it. Just definitely look for trigger warnings. There's a lot of stuff in here. But yeah, oh my gosh, that was a surprise for me. I did not expect to like it that much. So, wow. All right, well, we still have plenty of time. Let's spin again. All right, so not too shabby, not too shabby. 4 stars. I mean, I didn't expect to like it that much. I've read Frida McFadden before, and I was not impressed, to say the least. So that's kind of awesome that I ended up really liking it this much. I'm on board with that. So let's go ahead and get into our third sprint. All right, our third spin gave us a romantasy category of Quicksilver. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while anyway. It'll go nicely and dovetail into an Apolycon vlog I want to do because I want to see if I want a beautiful edition of this book or not. So this is a really hard category though. I don't know if Quicksilver is going to be able to oust the other ones because in this category, I have read Born of Blood and Ash and gave it 3 stars. I've read House of Flame and Shadows and given it 5 stars. I've read Feybound and given it 3 stars. A Fate Inked in Blood, 3 stars. The Spell Shop, I'm leaning from that 4 into a 5 star. And When the Moon Hatched, I gave 4 stars. So I don't know. Is Quicksilver going to be able to bypass Sarah J. Maas or Jennifer Armentrout? I mean, that's asking a lot of a book. So we'll see. So I've just started in Quicksilver, and it's interesting so far. It's literally just starting out. I am, oh gosh, like 40 pages into it. So literally just started. But it has really started off with a bang. It's got a amazing character named, I think it's pronounced Cyrus. She's a thief. She's trying to make ends meet, trying to take care of herself and her brother. And basically she gets caught like immediately, or at least they're trying to catch her because she's stolen a piece of armor that's like part of the king's armor. And so she's like trying to get away and stuff. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Aladdin, you know, whenever he would swipe something and then they would be like, stop thief, and chase him. And so it kind of gives me those vibes, but it's really good, really interesting. I'm loving the banter. She is really teasing the guards, you know, talking about they're not very good if they can't catch her. Her and her brother have a very sibling rivalry thing going, and really enjoy that. She's got an old love interest that was a mistake, and we've, you know, we don't need to say, I know, right, Rumbletoes? Like, we don't need to say a lot about that, but a mistake was made with him, and she's having to deal with him to kind of help her brother and stuff. And so where we're at in this page, we're finding out that she has some kind of secret ability with metal. We don't know exactly what it is yet. She's just kind of hinted at it. But basically she's had to save her brother, and it's going down, and it's very interesting. It's very pulled me in, even though just barely scratched the surface of this book. It's like over 600 pages, so I'm barely there. But also it is snowing. Can you see the snow? Like, how amazing is that? It's the first snow. So anyway, I thought that would make it the perfect time to update you on this vlog. I am now 25% into Quicksilver, so I'm getting there. It's a bit of a chunky book. But it is good. It is interesting, and I'm learning a whole lot about this world that is just absolutely intriguing me. And like I said before, whenever I initially started, we were following Cyrus. She's a thief. She's also good with metalworking and things like that. And she has some untapped powers that she doesn't really understand where it comes from or what's going on. Well, essentially, to try to save her brother, she gets captured by the queen, who is, we'll just say, a little deranged. And essentially, she's got a bodyguard that she tasks with getting information out of Cyrus and then to kill her. And even goes so far as to say, because you've made me mad, I plan on killing 100,000 of your friends and family. And so Cyrus, of course, is just devastated. So she has this fight with the bodyguard. And of course, the latent powers, as they do, kind of surfaces. Well, then all of a sudden, this massive fae male comes out of this silver type substance that appears, and yeah, basically transports her to the Fae world, which is blowing Cyrus's mind because she was raised that the Fae were fake. Like, she was told they're just the boogeymen of stories to get children to behave and go to bed on time. Like, the Fae aren't real. And he's like showing her his canines, and he's like, and his pointy ears, and he's like, I beg to differ. And so it's interesting. It's really interesting. And so now we have Cyrus trying to survive in their Fae realm, and has met the Fae king and has befriended a noble woman of the court who's just so sweet. Everlane, I think is how you pronounce her name. And the Fae that rescued her is now training her, and his name's Kingfisher, and he's really cool, but kind of arrogant and annoying, and like comes in hungover sometimes. And so you could just see where that, you know, is probably going to go. But meanwhile, of course, Cyrus also wants to go back to the human world because she's worried about these 100,000 people that were threatened while she was gone. And so it's just at the 25% mark, we're just kind of getting to know this world and her powers or potential powers, and seeing her bicker back and forth with Kingfisher is fantastic. But she has this really good and cute friendship with Everlane that is just absolutely sweet, and I love it. And so I'm into this, guys. I know it's only been like 160 pages, but I am in. I am now halfway in Quicksilver. Oh my gosh! I don't mean to sound ridiculous or like swoony or like young child or anything, but oh my freaking gosh, it is so good. The banter is bantering, and I have no words. It's very reluctant allies and enemies to lovers, and there's sarcasm and there's wit, and the main character is amazing, and she is a freaking champ, and I love her so much. And just, oh, just all the extra stuff too, all the politics and the war that's happening. And now we've got freaking zombies. And I mean, like, there's just, oh my gosh, all the things, you guys. I am swooning. I am absolutely loving this book. I did not expect to love it this much. This is going to be a problem because I'm pretty sure there was something else in the romantasy category I had been planning on voting for. So I think this is now going to make my life a whole lot harder, but oh my gosh, worth it. All right, so I finally finished Quicksilver and I'm in love. I'm gonna have to say 5 stars, guys. 5 stars. This was chef's kiss. This was so good. I did not expect it. The way they left us at the ending, though, I'm 100% continuing this series. I need the next book, like right now, like right freaking now. And I've got just a whole lap full of cats going on right now. They've been reading with me and they've been cheering with me, and oh my gosh. So yeah, now it's going to be really tough when I do the Goodreads little nominating there. I don't know what I'm going to do for this category. That was tough. That was really, really tough. Again, what a wonderful problem to have. Am I right? But gosh, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have us do another spin. All right, so the 4th and final one for this vlog, because I got to make sure it still gets out in time for you guys to watch and see if this affects your ideas of who you're going to vote for at all. The last spin got us the the Book Lovers Library. I can't say anything right. This one is a historical fiction. I don't normally read historical fiction, so it shouldn't surprise you that in this category, I've read nothing. Absolutely nothing in this category. So if I like it, then I guess this will be my pick, and we'll see. So I'm about 26% in the Book Lovers Library, and what's not to love about a book that has to do with reading books and a library, and oh, by the way, she does some knitting. Like, they're throwing in all the things. But in all actuality, it is a historical fiction. You know, that's not normally my kind of genre, but I really wanted to read it for Goodreads. And it's really good. Like, it's really easy to read. I will say it's very sad and heartbreaking already. We're during the time in England where, you know, World War II is going on and there's sirens and potential, you know, bombs being dropped and stuff. And of course, what happens back in those days when you need to go to a bomb shelter and stuff. And then they started saying, gather the children and ship the children off somewhere where it'll be safer. And so you're separated from your kids, and it's just heartbreaking. We are following, that's right, aren't we, Rumble Toes? We're following the main character who had just gotten this job at the bookstore, the Book Lovers Library, and she's kind of learning the ins and outs, and she has a really sweet relationship with her daughter, but unfortunately has to send her daughter off to make sure her daughter's safe. And the women at the store that she works with, though, for the most part, seem very sweet and very encouraging, and they're trying to help distract her and stuff with, you know, different books and book club kind of deals, and of course the knitting and stuff. I mean, seriously, Rumble Toes, would you rather explain what this book's about? So anyway, the little kitten be kittening, of course, and you're adorable, just like Stevie. You gotta steal the show, huh? So anyway. So even though it's only 26% in, it's already got me interested and hooked. It's not at all boring. It's very interesting. And can't help that the main character's named Emma, and it's kind of a nod to Jane Austen's Emma, and she even reads that at one point. So, like, you know, if you got me with a good Jane Austen hook too. So I guess Rumble Toes and I will fill you in more later, won't we, buds? Will you fill everybody in later? Will you? Will you fill everybody in later? So I'm now 53% into the Book Lovers Library, and whoa, it is hard. Like, there's moments where it's really light. It's about, you know, people wanting to check out books, even naughty books from the library, and there's a book thief, and they have like detectives that come in to try to find the book thief. So at moments it's light. And then you have moments that have to do with Emma and her daughter Olivia that are just hard. heartbreaking and gut-wrenching. And it's just, especially as a mother, it is just, it is tough. It is tough. But the writing style is amazing. If you at all like Lillian Jackson Braun, the Cat Who series, I kind of feel that. I feel those kind of vibes as far as like the writing style. And I've always been a fan, and I absolutely am eating it up. I don't like historical fiction typically, but I am really eating this up. It is really good. It's just hard as a mother. It is just, but yeah. So I just finished The Book Lover's Library, and oh my gosh, like I said, I'm not a huge historical fiction fan. I'm really not. If you've watched my channel at all, you know I try to stay away from that genre as much as possible. That being said, this was so good. It was so good, you guys. So loved it. 4 stars. Probably the one I'm going to vote for, to be honest, on Goodreads now, since it's the only one I've read from that category. But regardless, it was so good. It was so cute and so sweet. And the ending was satisfying and exactly what you wanted it to be and hoped it would be. And yeah, oh gosh, it was so good. So yeah, 4 stars. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right, I'll take it. So I think we all know which one I'm going to vote for on this category. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see more of these, because this is the last day. When you're watching this is the last day to go and vote on the Goodreads nominees on your computer online. And after you vote, that's it. They're going to tally it for a couple days. And then on the 26th, they're going to come back and they're going to tell us what the top ones in each category are for a final vote. And so I'm hoping to kind of make a fun vlog out of that one too, if you want. But thank you all so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, send your friends, and I will see you next time.